The next thing we need to address is, of course, these hideous headlights. The passenger side appears to be a lot more oxidized, but the driver's side certainly needs some help. So let's see what we can do. Well, I'm not sponsored by Cerakote. I purchased this kit on Amazon, and a good buddy of mine did his headlights on his truck and said that he had good results, so I'm going to give this a try. To make this job a little easier, I am planning to remove the grill. This is a pretty tiny space here between the grill and the headlight, and I'm afraid when I'm buffing it, when I'm polishing it, I may hit the grill with sandpaper, although it looks like it could use a little sanding anyway, but that's a different project. We're going to refinish the grill later. So now, since the grill has been removed, we have a little bit better access to the edge here and make sure that we can polish this edge really good and not mess with the grill. Got good access here without the grill to this edge of the headlight, and all we need to do is just mask off this part of the fender here and bottom of the bumper. This is going to be funky to have this bulge evened out with the sandpaper. All right, what's inside the package? Well, glad you asked. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by these guys. I've heard it's a good product, so give it a test. You have the step 1, which is just oxidation remover. You have 4 strips for each, 4 pads for each headlight. You have step 2, which is a little hand buffer with a set of 3000, 2000, and I'm assuming that's it, just the 2 sizes. So we have 2000, 3000 for right headlight, 2000, 3000 for the other headlight, and then hook and loop type of attachment. It comes with instructions. We'll probably read them, maybe not. And then of course this is step 3, which is more of a ceramic coating that comes with it, which is really, really cool. Hopefully this will give us at least a year's worth of shine and clarity to the headlights, and for about 17 bucks, that's not a bad deal. So we're gonna start with the worst out of the 2 headlights. Step 1 is the oxidation remover wipe. Comes looking kind of yellow anyway. It's supposed to take off all the yellow stuff. Second wipe of the 2-step process. The wipe is not abrasive, so it's more of a chemical reaction rather than elbow grease. Can't tell if the pad turned yellow. It already came out of the package as being kind of yellow, so can't see a day and night difference. Gonna flip that over. This is a little wider. All right, so this is only our second wipe in that step 1 of the entire process. So we'll open up the third one. Okay, so you can see it's kind of off-white, not too yellow. So we'll start with that quarter. As I've learned over the years, prep work is what makes all the difference. I'm going to flip it to the other side. Yep, that has gotten yellow. You can see how yellow this is. And then one could argue you're going to spend 20 minutes, half hour doing this, or an hour if you're very methodical. Is it worth it? Where you can buy a brand new set of headlights for about $150 to $300. I like the stock look. I don't like some of these eBay ones that are available. I don't know how reliable they are and also how well they apply the light on the road. So I'm going to stick with the stock part, and I'm too cheap to buy a brand new one from the dealer. So there's my excuse. All right, the fourth wipe of step number 1. So we'll start with, again, nice and clean one. Then we'll flip it to the other side. Time to do the flipperoo. And we are done with step 1. So that was our fourth wipe. The next thing we do is we need to rinse the headlights thoroughly. And then once we completed step 1, we want to remove and discard the gloves. So I'll have to get a new pair. I'm just going to use my spray bottle with water. And of course the headlight look similar to what they look like prior to removing that oxidation. That was not abrasive at all, but let's say we've removed that layer of the chemical at this time. I just masked the headlight and we are ready to use the red disc, the P2000. I'm gonna mount that onto our tool. As Cerakote calls it, the prep pad. And we're ready to roll. Wet the headlight lens and the disc with water. Scrub the entire lens in a uniform, non-circular motion for approximately 2 to 3 minutes. This particular part of the headlight is the most challenging because it's not regular shape. It does protrude out a little bit. Now we're just going to take this off and work on the very corner here. Now we're moving to P3000, the gray disc, for more fine finishing. That's it for our step number 2. Now we just have to rinse everything off and dry it properly before we ceramic coat it. All right, so for this final step, step number 3, we're going to be doing ceramic coating. And we're supposed to make sure that the headlight is really dry because the ceramic coating does not do well when it comes in contact with water. I'm assuming it's hydrophobic. We're going to switch the gloves. As per instructions, yes, I do follow instructions once in a while. Now, so with the ceramic coating, we're supposed to put it on in one layer according to instructions and apply it horizontally top to bottom in overlapping movement, 50% overlaps. So That's the headlight. Hopefully it looks better. Now we wait an hour before driving or exposing to any moisture. So it has been about 15 minutes after application of the third step of Cerakote headlight restoration kit. And even though you have this nice mirror-like shine, the finish on the headlight is still less than perfect. It's still slightly foggy, and you can see really good reflection of the inner housing, but the outer lens is pretty hammered with oxidation and pits from road grime and stuff like that. So I hope the camera kind of picks up a little bit on that. So we'll see. At least the headlights are clear. They're not 100% better. You can see all the scratches on the surface of the lens. So those would probably have to be sanded down a lot more diligently. But is it better? Yes. Am I blown away? I don't know. We'll have to see what it looks like tomorrow. So it's the next day. This is what a finished product looks like. It still has a kind of a milky white coating on it, even though you can see that the reflector looks fantastic. From a distance, I'm not super happy with the restoration, but that again is much better than what it was before initially. So I think this coating is likely not for the most hammered headlights, so we'll see how my driver's side will do. All right, this is where we're starting with the driver's side. That one is not as bad as the passenger was, but you can kind of see there's some yellowing here on top, and the entire lens has some overspray stuff on it. I think I used a parts cleaner that was a little too close to the front end, and that has marred the plastic, so we'll see how this one turns out. Masked off the headlight real quick. Step 1, the oxidation. We have 4 of these pads to use. Side of it. That's it for the first pad. Here's our second pad. Flip it around. Here's our third pad. And instructions say if the last pad is still yellow, don't worry about it. We're going to remove the rest of the oxidation by sanding, but I certainly would like to remove as much as we can in each step so we can get the best clarity of the headlight lens. So at the end of step 1, we're supposed to just rinse everything off. All right, so we're starting step 2 with our P2000 or the red sandpaper. We want to make sure that we keep the surface area wet. And the instructions say go at it for about 2 to 3 minutes, but I think just kind of keep an eye and see if you're removing enough oxidation. And these are non-circular movements now. So it certainly helps to remove the bumper, so that way I can really get to the corner here, because the little space that we have between the bumper and the headlight would not let me go as far. For the last piece here in the corner, just going to peel this off. And we're going to transition to the gray, or P3000. Step 2 is finished. The headlight is completely dry, including the surrounding area. And step 3, the ceramic coating. Let's do it. Okay, you're supposed to put on only one layer with about 50% overlap. That's a little bit more like 75% overlap, but A-okay. What the headlight looks like immediately after ceramic coating, and I am pretty happy with the results. Looks like the driver's side wasn't too far gone. I mean, it's not a perfect headlight, as you can see, but nice clarity to it. Very nice clarity. We'll see what it looks like here in the next couple of minutes once it's dry to touch. The true test is really what the headlight looks like at night. And it's not nighttime yet, but you can kind of see how cloudy plastic is. So I think this headlight is too far gone to save it with the restoration kit. Okay, now the passenger side looks like this. And here's the driver's side. So this one has a lot more clarity to it, but you can still see the defects on the surface. You can see all this stuff here that did not come off with sanding. So obviously 2000 and 3000 grit is not aggressive sanding at all. So I could have used 1000 or 1500 grit as well, but I used only what was provided in the kit. So that's the Cerakote headlight restoration kit. So for slightly foggy headlights, I think this does a good job. But for the ones that I had that are far gone, it has improved it by maybe about 40%, mostly the outside looks, but I don't think it helped out the clarity a whole lot. And that's my review of the Cerakote Headlight Restoration Kit. I hope this video was helpful to you, and if it was, please like and subscribe to the channel for more content on this poor Xterra.